I now invite His Excellency Mr. Richard Morris, Her Majesty's Ambassador to Nepal, for the welcome address. His Excellency Mr. Richard Morris was appointed Her Majesty's Ambassador to Nepal in 2015. He is a Fellow of the Chartered Institute of Marketing and of the Royal Society for Arts, Manufacture and Commerce. Richard took up his role as Head of Pacific Department at the Foreign and Commonwealth Office in January 2013. Between 2008 and 2012, Richard was HM Consul General Sydney and Director General Trade and Investment in Australasia. Before that, Deputy Head of Mission and HM Consul General at the British Embassy in Mexico City.
Lord Sandwich, British Honorary Consul to Bhutan, Michael Rutland, CEO Rajan, Principal Bateman, other distinguished members of the board of the British College, Mrs. Rana, President of NCCI, friends from the University of the West of England and from Leeds Beckett University, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, families, and most important, students. Namaskar. मेरो नाम रिचर्ड मरिस हो र म बेलायत शाखाको राजदूत हुँ तपाईहरूलाई भेटेर धेरै खुसी लाग्यो तर माफ गर्नुस् नेपाली भाषा जान्दिनँ so I'll be speaking in English. Thank you very much for that warm welcome. I'm the British Ambassador and it's a pleasure to have been invited to speak at your graduation ceremony today. Now, the relationship between Britain and Nepal is, as many of you know, more than 200 years old. There are many pillars to that relationship. Perhaps the one people think of most often is the military relationship, the Gurkha relationship. It's the one that many people associate with the Britain and Nepal relationship, and indeed is something that we value highly. But it's a military relationship that also includes us working together all around the world on peacekeeping operations, where we very much value Nepal's important contribution to world affairs. But as well as that pillar to the relationship, there are others. There's the political relationship. It's something on which I work every day. It includes, perhaps most obviously, the high-level visits. Many of you will remember the visit of His Royal Highness Prince Harry to Nepal in 2015. But we also have visits in the other direction. I've seen recently the Speaker who took a delegation from Nepal to the UK. And we have others of those high-level visits. And what we're doing through those is in part, working together, seeing how we can work together on important global issues. And so that high-level relationship is important between us, but it's also important because it's how we work together to solve challenges that face both our countries, from issues like climate change through to big economic issues of the day. They're things that we work together on, and that forms another important pillar of the relationship between our two countries. Another is the commercial relationship, which of course is important. We do tens of millions of pounds of business between our two countries, and many of you will be familiar with British brands here, Unilever's, GlaxoSmithKline, Standard Chartered. Another important relationship, one that I think is sometimes overlooked, is the people-to-people relationship between our countries. There are tens of thousands of Nepali diaspora living in Britain, as well as around 40,000 British tourists who visit Nepal every year. So these are all important pillars to that relationship over the last 200 years. But there's another important one, and that's the educational ties between our two countries. Tens of thousands of Nepalese people take UK qualifications every year or have studied in the UK. And you're now joining that group, you're now part of that group, that cadre of people who've got an educational tie to the UK, which I very much hope that you'll value both now and going forward into your future as well. Now, high quality education is something that is rightly associated with the UK. British universities are always ranked highly, and again I've just been reading the Times Education list, which again puts British universities at the very top of the list of international academic institutions. And that list is also peppered with many other of British institutions as well. Our institutions are ranked highly against those all around the world. The British government works closely with the universities to ensure that the education that they're offering and the qualifications that we're offering are of a consistently high standard. And that's something that is very important to us. And I hope that you've seen reflected in the studies that you have done over the last few years here at the British College. Britain is also associated with high levels of academic research for science and technology. We're rated as best place in the world. Our research papers, cited research papers, Britain is disproportionately represented given our small size. And you'll see that Nobel laureates from all around the world disproportionately have studied in the UK. Around 38% of Nobel laureates who studied overseas studied in Britain. So I hope you'll see that high quality education that is associated with Britain is something that you've experienced and is something that you will benefit from going forward. I'm delighted that we've got two great British academic institutions represented here today and through the studies that you have been doing. Leeds Beckett University was established in the 1820s, so has a long and distinguished record. The University of West of England's roots go back to 1595, I think I'm right in saying, so to the 16th century. And so again, a very deep roots. But they're not just places with great histories. They're places that offer a range of cutting-edge academic qualifications to people from around the world. And so you're now part of their alumni too. So I wanted to say very many congratulations to the graduates. I wanted to say congratulations to all our friends at the British College, to the staff, to the faculty, to the board for the guidance that they give to the college, to CEO Rajan, who we see a lot. But congratulations to everybody at the British College for all they've done in getting to you to this position today. I wanted to say well done to everybody who's sitting there waiting patiently to get their certificate. I'm sure you've worked incredibly hard. I've been to the British College, I've talked to some of you. I know that many of you are not just working hard on qualifications, but working hard during the rest of the day as well in other jobs. So very many congratulations to you for your dedication and hard work. But I'm a parent of university-age students myself, and so I wanted to say a particular congratulations to all the parents and families and friends who've supported you over the last few years, probably financially, probably quite a lot emotionally as well as you've gone through your studies. Congratulations to all of you at the back of the room for what you've done investing in the future of the young people who sit in front of us today. Thank you very much for listening so patiently. I'm so very sorry, but I'd already committed to host an event back in my own home, so I've got to rush back across town. But I really wanted to be here today to be part of this event, if only briefly. But thank you very much for listening to me so patiently. Very dhanyavad.